Hi there. Today's Bible nugget is one of the more obscure and kind of puzzling passages in the Bible. Well, at least I think it was or is. Um, and I might have a possible explanation, which, if it's true, it's pretty cool. So the passage is actually in Matthew 27 and verse 51. It's just after Jesus dies on the cross. It says, "At that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two, from top to bottom. The earth shook, the rocks split, and the tombs broke open. The bodies of many holy people who had died were raised to life. They came out of the tombs after Jesus' resurrection and went into the holy city and appeared to many people." What on earth does that mean? Let me try and offer an explanation. Agree or disagree? I don't mind. But I thought it was a pretty amazing explanation when I heard it. Now, apparently, what used to happen, and so is before the Passover, what used to happen, and particularly if the feast of the first fruits was falling on the Sunday of the same week as the Passover, which it was in this particular case, what the priest used to do is used to go out before the Passover, and he used to cross from the temple down through the Kidron Valley and up into the Mount of Olives. And on the area of the Mount of Olives, there was like a place or a farmland or a plot set aside on which they grew the grain offering for the first fruits. And before the Passover, what the high priest would do is he would go up onto this place in the Mount of Olives, and he would go and he would tie the sheaves that they were going to be offered as first fruits. So they would be bound together and they'd be all tied together, ready for them to be harvested. Then what they would happen is they go through the Passover and then the Sabbath, and then on the Sunday morning, this is the great part, on the Sunday morning, they would get up long before dawn and they would leave the temple and they would go down through the Kidron Valley back up to where the first fruits were on the Mount of Olives, and they would wait, and they gave themselves enough time so they could get up there before dawn. And at dawn on the Sunday morning, at the crack of dawn on the Sunday morning, the high priest would take the sickle and he would cut the offering of the first fruits with his sickle, and then they would gather that first fruits, and then they would begin their long journey back to the temple where they would prepare the first fruit offering unto the Lord, which they would make at about an hour or 2 hours after the dawn on that particular Sunday. Now, the speculation is, and I like it because it sounds beautiful, and I think it's true, is whenever that high priest, whenever that sickle cut through that first bunch of the first fruits, I think that's when Jesus went and came back to life in the tomb. And that's when he rose from the dead. And now the fascinating part is it's not just Jesus. It's also, as we just read in this passage in Matthew, holy saints came to life. And I believe that they came to life after Jesus came to life. And then there's an hour and a half or 2 hours roughly that they kind of wander around the city after they were resurrected. It says that they went into Jerusalem to see and were seen by many people. So they were resurrected. That's the first fruits of the resurrection, and I believe Jesus was the first one, obviously, to come to life, and then that those others also was resurrected It's a different explanation, but leave me your comments. Tell me what you think. Thank you. Bye. It does fit all the facts, though.